Yo, what's going on guys, Tanmay here for Simple Snippets and welcome back to another video tutorial on dynamic web application development using ASP.NET, MS SQL as the database and the Bootstrap framework for front-end styling. So this is the 5th video tutorial in this course, and in this video tutorial, as the title of the video suggests, we are going to be developing the user and admin login pages. So if you've watched the previous couple of videos, in fact the previous 4 videos, we've developed this homepage in the last video tutorial. We've set up our libraries, we've set up the entire project. So if you have missed any of the videos, do check out this playlist. And as I mentioned in this video, we are going to be developing the user login and admin login. So this is how the member login or the basic user login would look like. And just like this one, we also have the admin login. So this is the dummy website, and this is the website that I showed to you initially in the first video when I gave you an overview about the entire project, which is the online e-library management system. So we are going to replicate this. So if you go on admin login, this is how the admin login looks like. So you can see that it is pretty similar. So we'll do 2 pages in this video tutorial itself. We're going to just design it, and this is our actual project that we're doing. This is the home page that we've designed, and now we are going to design the user login page. Okay, so the user login as well as the admin login. So let's quickly come to the project. So if you come to the project, this is where I left you guys in the previous video. We designed the complete home page. In our solution explorer, you can see I have added a user login.aspx page. You can quickly go ahead and add that. If you don't know how to add it, just right click on it. I'll add the admin login as well, so you'll get a hang of it. Go to add new item. In the web category, go to web forms and select web form with master page. Don't forget to rename the master page. I'm gonna say admin login. Hit enter, select site1.master. Basically we are choosing which master page is the master page for this admin login page. So the admin login is a content page which will load inside this site1.master. Hit OK, and the admin login page is created. So in the design part, if you see, you get the master page along with this content placeholder space. So if you see, you cannot edit this part. You can see there is a cross sign, red cross, and you cannot edit the footer also. That is because it is the master page and we are on the admin login page. So admin login is the content page. So only thing that we can change is this white space. So coming to the source, we are going to be adding content over here. Okay. So let's start off with designing the user login page. As I showed you, the user login and admin login are pretty much the similar user interfaces. So we can add them both quickly. So this is how the user login looks like. Okay, so this is a basic form which is loading in between the header and the footer. We've already designed the header and footer and the master page in the previous video tutorials. So let's start off with designing this member login. Coming to the user login page, in the ASP content tag, which has the ID of content2 and it has the content placeholder ID of content placeholder 1. So everything goes over here and not in this content tag. We have to put everything over here. I've explained to you why. We'll speed up a little bit because by now you must have got a hang of the front-end development, the Bootstrap, and if you haven't watched it, go check out the Bootstrap series for better understanding. So first things first, let's add the division, name it container or give it a class of container. So this is the Bootstrap class. I'm assuming you guys know it. Inside that we need to add a division which is row, and then we have column. So that's how the hierarchy goes, right? So this would be row, and inside that we would have a column. Okay. So I'm gonna say call -md -6. So this column is gonna be of size 6. So this is that entire column basically, and we want it in the center, right? So we have to add a class which is known as mxauto, which brings the class or which brings the entire division in the center. This is again a Bootstrap class. Now inside this column, what do we have? If you see, you can see there is a slight border over here. So this interface is known as a card interface and it has its separate class in Bootstrap. If you go on the getbootstrap.com website, in the documentation, if you just search for card, so card is a component. You can see this is how the card looks like. You'll get an image, you get a title, you get some text, you can add some buttons, and this is that division. Okay, let me just zoom in a little bit. So you can see division class card. Then we have card body, we have card title, we have card text, and some extra CSS classes which come in the Bootstrap framework in the Bootstrap styling. So we're going to make a use of this because then we will get this beautiful border and this card look. You can also add your custom CSS also to enable that. So let's just save this and let's add the card or add a division with the class card. Okay, so this is the division. I'll close this division over here. Inside that we will create one more division with the card body. Okay, so this is card hyphen body. Alright, so our structure is coming into picture, coming into place. Now we need to add the content as well. So if you see in the dummy or the demo website, the first thing that we have is this icon. This is an image, and then we have this title of member login. So let's go ahead and add that. Coming to our project that we are developing, we need the user login page, right? So this is currently homepage.aspx. So let me just first, save this and refresh this in the browser. And it is not changing the link, so we'll add it manually because right now our navigation is not working. We have to add the links in the master page. We'll do that after we design all the pages. So over here I'm manually gonna say user login.aspx and hit enter, and there you go. You can see a small card is added, but we still have to add content in it, right? So you can see the border, but there is nothing inside it right now. And you can see that this entire column, or you can see this division, is come in the center. So inside this card body, let's add the very first content. Okay, so what I just did over here is I again added a row inside this card body. Inside that again I added a column. So when I say column, it is a division with a class call. So first we have row, then inside that we have call. Then I added this image, and I just made the image come in the center by using this center tag. This image link is coming from the imgs folder. In the imgs folder we have this image as general user.png. Okay, so that's that link. I've used a basic image tag. Let's refresh this and let's see how it looks like. So there you go. You can see our icon has come over here, and now we have to add the title, right? So we have title which says member login. So again I'm just gonna quickly copy this, hit enter and paste it over here. Now instead of this image, I'm just gonna add a heading tag. So I'm just gonna say h3. I'm gonna say member login /h3. Save this. Let's refresh, and there you go. Our member login text has added over here. Okay. Now next thing is, you can see there is a slight horizontal rule over here, HR. Let's add that. Again copy this entire row, hit enter. Now instead of this center tag, we just need a HR tag. So I'm gonna say HR for horizontal rule. Let's save this. Let's see if we get the horizontal rule. Okay, so we've got the horizontal rule as well. And now the next thing that we have to do is we have to add 2 text boxes, and then we also have to add 2 buttons. So let's go ahead and quickly add these boxes, or text boxes basically. Again I'm gonna copy this division and row hierarchy, paste it inside the column. Instead of the HR, now we have to add 2 text boxes, right? So first things first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create one more division. Okay, hit enter, and let's first close this division. But instead of giving it a class of call, I'm gonna give a new class which is known as form group. Okay, so what is this class? So this is again another predefined class in Bootstrap. So if you go on the Bootstrap website and if you see form, just type in form and click on forms. If you just scroll down, you can see there is a form created over here, and you can see there is a division named class form group. So this form group basically makes this division form enabled and adds some extra styling, which basically creates these user interface. So you can see this text box is getting highlighted, and it has a special user interface which is Bootstrap styled. If you don't give this class, the text box will look very ugly and very basic. So that's what we are doing over here. So first thing, we use the form group, and later on when we actually use the controls, when I put drag and drop the text box, I will give it a class of form control. Okay, so let's see how that works. Coming to the code, inside this division, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a text box. Now this text box is not gonna be a basic HTML text box. Okay, so this text box is going to be a standard ASP text box. So if you see, this is that text box. Just drag and drop it over here, and there you go. You have created the very first control. Now we have to give this a class, and the class, as I mentioned, is form-control. Okay. Now you can add a placeholder attribute also. Let's add that placeholder equals to, I'm gonna say member ID. Let's just save this and let's see how it looks like first. Okay, so there's some error. Let's see what this error is. The server tag is not well formed. Okay, I think I've made some typing mistake. Let me just give it a space over here. Save this, and now let's see. Alright, so I just needed to give a space over here between these two attributes. Sometimes that happens, but there you go. You can see our first text box is added, and you can see that the placeholder member ID is coming in until unless I type anything. So once I type anything, that placeholder goes. Okay, so that's the purpose of placeholder. Now you can also add labels over here. So how would the label look like? Let me just copy one label. I'm just gonna copy this. Come to our coding part. Over here, I'm just gonna paste it. You don't need this for attribute. Save this, and you can say member ID. Save. Hit refresh, and there you go. You can see the label is added. Okay. Alright, so this was the very first form group and form control. Okay, so we also need one more text box. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this label and text box one more time along with this form group. Copy this, come below over here and paste it. So again, new label, this would be member password, and again this is a text box. Placeholder would be password. Now this text box also has some properties. You can see on the right bottom side, these are the properties. When you just click on this text box, you get all the properties over here. Now in the properties of this text box, we want it to have a password symbol, right? And not show direct text. So just scroll down, and in the text mode of this text box, just select password. So this attribute gets added. If I save this and if I refresh now, there you go. I've added a password text box. Over here I can say TS11, and the password when I type, you can see I'm getting dots. So this is that text mode as password. Okay. Now the last two things that we are left with is adding login and sign up button. So again, coming to our code, let's just copy this division which says form group, hit enter, and instead of this text box, now we want a button, right? So this button is again gonna be an ASP button because it will run at server and not a basic HTML button. Just drag and drop this. There you go, we got our button. We also need one more button which says sign up. Let's just copy this and paste it over here. The second button doesn't have to be a ASP button. It can be a simply basic HTML button also. So scroll down over here in the toolbox. If you go in the HTML part, you can see that these are the different HTML tags. So we need input type button, and that's it. Okay. Let's change the ID to button 2 because we cannot have multiple similar IDs. Now if I just save this and refresh our code, we've added the buttons, but they don't have this kind of styling. Okay. So we need to add that kind of styling over here with login and sign up. So how do we add that? So again, we go back to Bootstrap, go to Bootstrap, type in button, components. In the components, we have buttons, click on buttons, and there you go. You can see we have some styling over here. So for login, we have a green color, which is basically coming from this class BTN, and then we have BTN primary. So just copy this. In fact, copy the entire class. Come to our code. This is the first button, right? Hit space, give it a class of BTN-primary, and the text of this BTN has to be login. Similarly for sign up, what do we have? For sign up, we have a blue color, and this is that info color, you can see. So we have class of BTN and BTN-info. Copy this. Come to our code, hit space, give this class over here. Now let's refresh and see how our code looks like. So there you go, we've added login and this button. We have to change the text, but you can see that over here, this button is taking the entire space, and we want our buttons also to take the entire space. So we need to add one more class, which is known as BTN-block. Okay. So it makes the button a block component which takes the entire space. If I just copy this and paste it over here again and change this value to sign up. Okay, hit Ctrl S and let's refresh the page, and there you go. You can see we have basically created our member login. It's almost done. We just need to add one thing, which is basically, if you see this page, we just need to add a link back home. Okay, so the button login color has to be green. We'll do that. Also, if you see the dummy page or the demo website, these buttons are looking very huge, right? If you see our login buttons, they're looking small. So we can make them large by adding one more class. So coming to our code, in the classes of this button, we just need to add one more class, which is btn-lg. So we have btn-md, we have sm, we have small and something like that. We have different sizes also. So I'm just gonna add btn-lg over here. And this is not primary, this is basically btn-success for the green color, right? Let's save this and let's see how the page looks like. So there you go, our buttons have increased in size and they are looking perfectly fine. Now the last thing left is we have to add this link back to home link. So if you see this link, we have to add this after this card ends, right? So you can see the card border, and after this card we have to add this back to home link. So coming to our code, if you go on the top, scroll on the top, and if you select this card and if you hit minus sign, this card will collapse, and now you can simply add a link over here. So this is a basic link, right? So in the HTML attributes, what you can do, do we have a link over here? No, we can simply add an anchor tag. So the anchor tag would look something like this: ahref homepage.aspx. We've already created homepage.aspx, right? So if you see in the solution explorer, we have homepage.aspx. Just save this and I can, expand the entire code, refresh, and there you go. You can see back to home link is added over here. Now you can add this inside the card also. If you want to add inside the card, just cut this, go one division above, paste it over here. I'm assuming it should get added inside the card. Yeah, there you go. You can see now the card is extending till the end, but let's keep it outside the card only. Save this, hit refresh, and yeah, this is the link over here. Now there is little extra space over here because in the code I have added an extra break. If I add extra break -br, save this, okay, without the -br. Okay, so I'm adding two breaks because I don't know why after one break it is not showing. Anyways, it might work with you. So yeah, I've added two breaks so that this footer goes a little bit down, and there you go. We have our complete member login page done. Now on login, we still have to add some code, but we are going to add it later on. We are just designing the web pages. So this is the member login. On sign up, we just need to load the next page, which is signup.aspx. So maybe if you don't have a user ID and member comes over here, a user comes over here and he recognizes that he has still yet to create his own member ID, then he will click on sign up, right? So he should be redirected to signup.aspx page. So we don't still have the signup.aspx. So let's create that. Over here, I'm just going to click on add new item in the web form with master page. Over here, I'm going to say sign up, or I'm going to say user sign up .aspx. Select this site1.master, hit OK. Now coming back to the user login page, what I can do, I can select this ahref tag and wrap this sign up button. Okay, so this is the sign up button, right? So I can wrap this sign up button with this anchor tag so that now our button is also linked via this anchor tag. And in the anchor tag, I'm going to say signup.aspx. Okay, so I'm going to say sign sign up. Okay, so it's user sign up.aspx. Let's just refresh this and let's see if we can click on this sign up button and get redirected to the user signup.aspx. Right now, if you see in the link, we are on user login.aspx. When I click on this sign up, there you go. You can see I'm being redirected to user signup.aspx. Now we cannot see anything because we still have to create this web page. We are only on user login right now, but the sign up button is working. Now the login button will not work because this login button is a ASP button which will run at server. So we still have to add the on click event, right? So we'll do that later on once we do all the designing work of all the pages. So basically our user login is done. Now what we can do, we can completely copy this entire code. Just minimize this, copy this entire thing, and we can directly go ahead and paste this in the admin login designing. Because you know that admin login and user login is pretty much the same. I'm just gonna paste it over here completely. Save this. We didn't have a sign up button for admin login, right? So if you see on our demo website, if you click on admin login, we have a separate image. You know, the admin icon comes with a star. If you see the member login, we don't have a star over here, so that's the only difference. The email, that is the user ID and password, is the same, and we only have login button, right? So this is a much more simpler version. So let's remove this user sign up. Okay, removed it over here. We don't have, do we have home page? Let's keep this as it is, and we just need to change the image, which is going to be admin user.png. Okay, so I'm just gonna change this to admin user.png. I'm gonna save this, and now let's refresh the browser. Coming to our project, I'm gonna type in the link over here explicitly because we don't have any links right now working. admin admin login.aspx, hit enter, and there you go. We have the admin login page ready. We just have to change the text over here to admin, again admin over here. So we just have to change this member to admin login, hit save, come over here, copy this. This also has to be admin ID, placeholder has to be admin ID only, and that's it. Let's just save this, hit refresh, and there you go. Now the text has changed to admin login. You can remove these labels because in our dummy page you can see the placeholder is doing the work of those labels, right? So you can keep them, you can remove them if you want. You can also do a lot of styling. You can add some background color, you can add some background images. Now the styling and the front end completely depends upon your creativity. I just like to keep it simple and it looks pretty, you know, professional, and not too much of design work, too much of colors. Sometimes simplicity is much more preferred. But yeah, this is how the user interface of admin login. And if I just change the link to user login, hit enter, and this is how the user login would look like, that is the member login. So yeah, we've designed the admin login and user login successfully. We still have to write a lot of code behind the scenes, that is the dynamic part. We are just doing the designing of pages. So we've designed the home page. So this is the home page. We've designed the user login page and we've designed the admin login page so far. So in the next video tutorial, we'll take on the sign up page, which would look something like this. It's a big page, so it'll take one tutorial to design this. And then we still have to design few more pages, which is the view book and then the admin side oriented pages. So we'll continue designing that in the further tutorials. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how this video was. Do share it with your friends. Tell them about this dynamic web application development course. Even they would find this helpful. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.